Welcome back, everyone. Ronan here. Alright, so I have been playing Overhaul mods lately for Divinity 2, and I figured I would share at least this one for now. It's going to take a while before I can do the others because they take a long time. It's like 50, 60 hours to do one run. This one is Conflux. I played it. I enjoy it because it maintains most of the things from the base game. So the armor is still here. They had new skills. I won't show all of them, but I'll give you an example and what I think about the balance of the mod. Now, I've heard that there's another mod to go with this mod. I haven't tried it, but that boosts the enemy's HP to kind of balance out the new skills. What is also nice about this mod, now I haven't noticed any new enemies in arcs. Maybe they're still working on it. The creator, alright, the creator is Zorn on the Steam Workshop, and I have to say he responds to people really quickly. I posted some comments, left some feedback, and sometimes the changes were done immediately. So I have to give him props for that because he is pretty active with this mod. According to the latest post, he updates every day. So changes are constantly happening. There are new bosses in Fort Joy. I think I faced off 4. And Nameless Isle, I faced off against 3. Only 1 in Driftwood so far. They gave us some pretty good loot. I like the idea behind it, but sometimes it's a bit too strong, like this spear. Now I'm using another mod to level up the gear, but since you have the gift bags to do that, you can't see the damage because the scaling is just so, the list is so huge that it's pretty rough to read. But if you wanted to compare the damage, I think if you use something that scales less, it might show you, yeah, right here. So if I were to use a wand, maybe, you can't see the damage up top. 192, 200 at this level. But it's just, what really makes it good is that it sets backstab to everything. Things that even a rogue can't normally backstab with. You can't use Vault, but I like the idea of having a spear that backstabs. It would be nice for a rogue. But if you were to use, let's see, can I show that off here? This is where we're going to start talking about a bit of balancing. If I heal Ben, will it count because he's... Anyway, normally a heal would work, but he's friendly unit. Yeah, he just regens normal. If I can hit one of these, well, the paladins are not undead. Anyway, every hit like can backstab. I just saved. So if I were to hit with this, you just saw a backstab crit. You can end up doing, I think I did a 7,000 damage backstab crit on an undead. The thing with this though, because of Perfectionist, I think you can crit on top of a crit. So if you're a rogue, it's not useless now to have some crit chance on your build if you use Perfectionist, which normally you probably wouldn't. You know, the damage increase is nice, but a lot of talents are revamped. So have a look. There's a few in here that I think are pretty much a must. Like Flowing Recollection, I think is a bit broken. Here's what it says. So +3 memory to attributes, additional point for every 3 character levels. Oh, all of your skills get +1 basically. So what that means is here, everything gets +1. So you don't need, I think it'd be too hard to code because it says you need 1 less point to learn certain skills. Instead, it just gives you +1, which gives what it gives you what the description says, but then some. You end up doing 5% more damage or whatever to everything. You have +1 to everything except polymorph, because then it would give you a stat point. But still, that's pretty huge, because that's essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 combat ability points. I think it means well. It's too much. And then if you look, I've put 0 points in. So everyone has, which used to be mnemonic, Flowing Recollection. I put 0 points in memory. I got +3 from Flowing Recollection and 6 from Boost. So that's Flowing Recollection. So I have +9 slots from Flowing Recollection, but somehow I'm at 28 slots. I think that means every 2 levels you get a point. So we're level 20, so that's 10. Yeah, that's pretty close. That'd be +19. It just seems like a lot, which then frees you up for other things. Some of these things I think they mean well, but they're a bit, like, it's too good to pass up. There's no need to get all skilled up, which is 2 skill points and 2 civil abilities. There's no need to get this. Maybe in early game to get your game started, you get this. Like one of the first perks, because then you can put some points and then your respec out of it because you'll have your civil abilities higher. There are a lot of them that have been updated, but maybe too strong. And I think the best one I can give an example for is Flowing Recollection. We all start with Savage Sortilege. Perfectionist is actually a bit better. I find it weird sometimes because I'm not sure if that's what it is, but I can't always fully heal. So if I go with a bedroll, I healed, but we're not fully healed. So I'm not sure if it's Perfectionist that does this, but something's going on here. So let's quickly talk about some skills. Now the nice thing with Flowing Recollection, I guess, is that you can use a lot of skills. But I found that some of them are way too strong that, in essence, you kind of break the game. I can appreciate what he's doing with trying to balance things like teleport. They've removed the bonus range from height, from high ground, which is fine, but there's other ways to boost your range. Like, for example, on... because I have teleport on everyone. So on Red Prince, that's not Red Prince, this is my custom lizard. Because you can get 2 breath attacks with a bit of a cheat. It's more like a bug. So I use lizards more in this mod anyway. So if you look at range, I can reach about 15 meters because I have Far Out Man. If I use the Red Prince, it's apparently 13 meters. Okay, yeah, they're standing in different positions. So 13 meters or so, which is about right. But if I were to use Ben, I'm not sure if I gave him Far Out Man. But he gets a 20 meter range. So I don't know if the height is really that important. Mainly because he always has Farsight. So you could always just cast Farsight on yourself, which is not expensive. I think normally it would be 1 AP. Then you can still use that cheese. Use that ability at a range that is, you know, more appropriate. So I think trying to balance that was a bit rough. I know that it was 3 AP before, which was a bit much. What ended up being is that instead, I started using teleport out of combat. Moved everybody in with stealth into a puddle and then just attack them then. So it didn't really matter. There's always going to be a way around using certain skills. Where I think that the mod kind of loses the grasp of the balance a little bit, because I like the new skills that they do, is I'm not sure if they understand AP value. Because I've said it on stream before, AP is life. You don't want to waste your AP on stuff that doesn't do damage, healing. You actually want to use it on stuff that's useful to you, that does something. Like, for example, if you were using Courage. Now, it's 1 AP. I just encouraged everyone gets +3 to their main stat and then 5 Constitution. That's good. I mean, that gives you more health. But that would be 5,300. Let's say he's at 5,386 for HP. We'll wait for it to run out. Now he's at 43. So he gained about 1,000 HP for 1 AP. Which is pretty handy. That's probably a hit or 2. Depending on who's hitting you. Maybe less. Like, I've seen the Paladins with the shield hit me for like 4,000. But that makes it so I don't have to spend some of these points into Constitution. I have a very specific way of building my characters. That's just a personal choice, so I can equip anything I want. But I hardly put any points in Constitution. Like, he's got no points in Constitution. He's got 1. So that means, like, I can run around with, you know, 3,800, and then all of a sudden, plus you're going to do more damage. Like, it increases by 15%. Now he's at 4,800. So it's a pretty big change, in my opinion. Anyway, so AP. I mean, I don't want to get too far off here. What AP means, it's attacks on target, really. And where I disconnect, so let's say I decide to attack. Now, I'll fight these Paladins near the end, but... So if I take the Red Prince and Sabille, okay? So I have an example here. He's using a 2-handed weapon. The blue lizard is using a 2-handed weapon. And Sabille's using dual-wielding strength. If I attack with Sabille, I do 2 hits. Now, mind you, one of those hits is magic only because of a weapon. It's a new weapon in the game in this mod. It's really nice. Hits really hard, but only magic armor damage. It doesn't do anything else than magic armor damage. So it's kind of useless when the armor's gone. So if I use 2 AP, I do 2 hits. Let's not even focus on the damage, it's just 2 hits. If I were to use... I can't show Battle Stomp. If I were to use this, so this in theory would be 3. Oh, you can't use it on him. What the... If I use Arc Brand, she should now do 4 hits. So for 1 bonus AP, you now do 4 hits, and they're pretty strong hit, and he got stunned. Where it becomes a bit much is you have this ability called Killing Field. So it's basically Overwatch. Anybody in this circle gets a hit on them. And if it's Sabille, that means it's going to be 2 hits. So for 2 AP, she does a hit. Then, depending on how many people, like how many times you can send somebody in there, it's an extra hit. So for 3 AP, you're guaranteed to get at least 1 turn, like 1 attack on someone for 3 AP, which I would do anyway just to attack this guy, this paladin. Every turn, in this last 2 turns, maybe 3. So every time they start their turn in that zone, they take a hit. And it's almost like the enemies don't recognize that they are inside this zone, so they'll walk in, they'll walk to you and destroy you, which I think can be kind of cool for themes. Like if I want to do my Mirror Knight, I think this mod would be really good for it. So what's going to end up happening is you're going to hit them. But if you have Arc Brand, which there's an upgraded version that everyone basically should use, which is, I feel, is like the meta right now, maybe. I don't really pay attention to that, but it's just too strong, and you end up getting more hits out of the small amount of AP pool you have. Which is why I think Baldur's Gate 3 will be ahead in the combat, is because you have an action, a bonus action, and then your movement. You don't have, like, just, like, do everything in 1 turn. You don't have adrenaline. Well, maybe some classes might, I don't know. But this is where, like, you just start doing way too much in the early game, and then the fight's already won in, like, a turn or 2. So let's say we're gonna fight these guys. Normally I would, like, probably, I'll probably stealth. I'll use the rotation I've been using. A lot of skills won't be shown, but you can see how you're doing too much damage from just this 1 fight. If I'm gonna start, you always want to start with something strong, something, you know, something big. But for this one, I'll just start with someone I want to have the first turn with. Often what I do is I'll stealth, and then I can get an extra hit in, but I won't do that this time. So if you start with the Red Prince, same principle as Sabille, except he's doing it with a 2-handed weapon. So I'm going to teleport one in. Wow. See, I got a backstab on the teleport. Oh man, he's already dead. Heal! This is gonna be so hard to show. I gotta heal the enemy. Okay. Plus you can throw this harpoon, but he's something that doesn't hit hard. No, taunt. My god. Chloroform? Wake up! Oh my god. She's just fucking... What do I have that doesn't hit hard? I wasn't hitting this hard, I don't think, but just timing. Yeah, let's try to teleport again. I mean, they should want to fight us. Teleport. Backstab. Why are they not fighting us? Whirlwind? Seriously. There we go. Okay, that was... Alright, so Sabille starts. That's fine. That works. It was either Sabille or the Red Prince I wanted to show off. So the only issue is Sabille doesn't have the really strong version of this. I didn't give it to her. But the concept's the same. I'm going to do Arc Brand. The difference is like sparking swings. Every element has a sparking swing. But I think the ice and air ones are too strong because they also still do shock and chill, which ends up crowd controlling everything. So then I'm going to do Killing Fields, which I showed earlier. I make a zone. Anybody in this zone, if they get a turn or they move, they get attacked. So right now I didn't spend any points, but that's fine. Where it starts being a problem is adrenaline. Really, I think adrenaline should take a back seat. Should get nerfed so hard you don't even want to use it. Because now I'm going to use it on my first turn. And I have other skills like Nether Swap, Teleport. So by using Teleport now, doesn't matter on the range. Tempting. Actually, yeah. Let's bring the one that's not even... Yeah, we'll do that after. I don't know why it's not in combat, to be honest. So let's bring this one into the circle. I should get a hit on it. Maybe not, because it was already in the circle. Making a liar out of me. Let's use Nether Dominance. This is another teleport, just teleports it to you. See, now I got a hit. But I got a hit, and I hit this thing. Then on this turn, I get another hit. So I almost crowd controlled the whole fight in one turn. And if you put Fulmination Spire, which is the, like, arcing swings, sparking master. I have it on somebody else. It does the same thing. So now I don't even have to use Killing Field on him. I just want to bring that person back in. I should get a hit off. Should. But they didn't move out, so that's why I didn't get one. Okay. Bad example. Usually you bring them in from outside. But the zone is so huge. So on the same thing, for him, if I use Whirlwind, now that they did fix it, we killed everyone already. So we only use 2 people. But that's the idea. You just do killing fields. Now, every time you bring somebody in, you get a hit on everyone because of the arcing swing. It's not just that character. You're just hitting everything every time you bring somebody in, or every time they get a turn because of that combination. I think something's just not working. What they could do is just limit killing field to not proc, like, Fulmination Spire. Just don't proc that. Right now, it's the most broken thing I've noticed in this mod. But there's a bunch of other skills that are kind of cool. It just makes it this combination. I'm not using the other skills. Like, you've got Elemental Swarm. Again, another one for AP. You use 3 AP in 1 source point. And now you just create 4 summons. Those 4 summons, I don't care how much damage they do. But they do benefit from these skills like Arcing Swing. So that's even more damage. So for 3 AP, let's say 4 because you use a skill like this Glacial Force is the same thing as the Arcing Swing. And then they each get more hits on their attack. So for 4 AP, you're getting... And they're here for 2 turns, I think. Maybe 3. So it's just like... You're not doubling. You're making it... Yeah, you're doubling the attacks. You're making it like exponentially stronger for that short amount of time. That's just another example. You also have Mirror Bow, Mirage Arrow, and then you summon an ally. So not only is this skill strong, it's a decent attack, but now you have a summon that it also gets its own AP, and it doesn't affect my summon. So, and it also benefits from if you have Glaciated Force, if you have Arcing Swing. And I think, essentially, these kind of break the game to the point where the crowd control shouldn't be there. And maybe instead of being here for, let's say, 2 turns? How long is it here for? 3 turns, where everyone will get it in combat. There we go, everybody gets it. It should be here for maybe a number of stacks. Maybe 10 stacks max. Even 10 stacks is a lot. That's 10 more attacks for 1 AP, and it crowd controls. That's kind of where I disconnect. Now, mind you, the game can be pretty hard anyway, so if you mess up your crowd control, you can get killed in 1 shot. Well, that's probably because I don't put Constitution. I put 0 Constitution in my builds almost. I put 4 max. So that's probably why I get 1 shot a lot. I don't know. I think there's just something around these skills. Now, let's show a few of them off. There's Judgment of Terra. So you do a splash of water, and then it does earth damage. So these skills are pretty cool, but again, you're also doing more damage and more functions with the same amount of AP. Some of these replace source level skills. So I'm not sure, I haven't played Epic Encounters yet, but it looks like they overhauled the whole source point system. I'll be playing that one next, probably, well, after Baldur's Gate releases its patch. So next month. What else do I have here that could be? This changes the element of whatever weapon she's using. Which could be good for some weapons that, you know, have elements you don't really want to use, like poison. Then you start fighting undead, and you can do it on a whim. It's not a one-time thing. Yeah, Master of Sparks is the one, but this one's in the base game. It does the same thing as the other ones, just a lot of damage. See, I'm not using the new skills. You have Purifying Blaze, which is kind of cool. You can do an AoE in your group. It's going to heal the group. And then do fire damage to everybody in the area, which is kind of handy. It's neat. I like the idea of having joint elements. Like, it creates new status effects, like Accelerant, all that. The nice thing with Accelerant, unlike Ruptured Tendon, the enemy doesn't realize it has Accelerant on them, and they just move around and take a bunch of damage. So, I don't think the AI is aware that it's bleeding as it takes a step. But then again, the problem with Accelerant, I get how it works with air damage. Often enough, you just stun them, even though they have Accelerant. So maybe they should be immune to stun. Just a thought, but... So, this is like a battering ram, but you come back to your position. So it's kind of cool. You go there, do your thing, come back, do the lightning damage. Often enough, you end up stunning them, so Accelerant doesn't even work. But again, you get 2 hits, 2 AoE hits for 2 AP. I think they may have to revise the AP values of all these skills, because a lot of these other skills now, Fire Whip only does one thing. Now you look on paper, 1300 damage, let's say 1400, and this does maybe 1000, but it's also AoE. So if you hit 3, 4, 5 people, and I tend to teleport everybody in, it's a lot of damage. Yeah, this was a teleport. It's the Nether Dominance. I showed it off. What else do we have that I can show real quick? Actually, there's this Whirling Steel. See, this is a good example. Whirling Steel costs 3. It only does 1 type of damage. But what is kind of cool, if I target it this way and then back, so let's say the enemies are really distant apart. So I'm going to do a whirlwind, hit them on the way, come back, maybe hit them again, all the way back, and then hit back. So again, it's like hits per AP is what still has to be counted. But I don't use it too often because it's too expensive. It's 3 AP. It would be really good when they're all grouped up though. Vitrify, again, same thing. You can do it in your group. It doesn't seem to affect them. And then it would do its double damage. It'll do like fire and ice, and then it makes vitrification. Another one I used that I noticed was broken, but I don't think I can show it here unless I went to find a fight and specifically showcase it. I think Ben has it, or at least had it. Yes. So, Miasma Spire, which is really nice because it's an AoE and it does acid damage. So it removes Fortify and stuff. So if any enemies are stubborn and don't want to get teleported because of Fortify, then you can use this. The problem I have with it is it seems to not interact with the world. What I mean by that is often enough, it seems it's going to hit through walls. I'm not sure if it's intended, because a lot of other skills don't hit through walls. This one seems like it would. Like if the enemy was here, it looks like it could hit them. Maybe pick a fight with these guys. I can show it. Nah, I won't be able to show it. They'll move and stuff. But you can just see, if I do this, it looks like it wants to target here. But there's a wall, which is weird. But if I were to try to use any other skills... Are you using it? Oh, I'm stuck. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to hit through the wall. The other skills seems like it wants to. It's not a super strong skill, mind you, but still, it's effective for what it does. And he's not int though, so that's probably why it's not scaled well. But a bit broken. So a lot of these are just too much compared to the old skills. It makes using, let's say, Thunderstorm almost useless. Because you get essentially a Thunderstorm every hit with skills like Glaciated Force. If that makes sense. Now, I would have to try this again. I would gladly try this again. Maybe try to do a different build with the Strengthened mod. I'm not sure where it is. If I find it, I'll post it. Yeah. Conflux Heavy Enemies. So I didn't see that in the add-ons. And Sorceress Sundries fix for upgrading custom unique equipments. But you don't need that anyway. So, and then you also have Divine Scaling you could add. Or some other kind for even greater difficulty. So he does mention that in the mod. I just didn't see it because why read? That should be it. In all, I've tried 2 Overhaul mods so far. I found Divine War way too easy, too simple. They tried to overhaul the crowd control by keeping the same skills but removing armor. And then they added a willpower system, which I guess is kind of cool, but it's too easy to go through. What I kind of wish they did in Conflux, though, speaking of the willpower system, they have Walk It Off, right, as the... I think he has it. Walk It Off adds an extra layer, so it's good for your glass cannon, because then your first crowd control won't work. You almost need it with glass cannon. So the enemies will avoid one, and then they have escapists. So, but I think every enemy should have... Maybe that would make it a little bit better. Maybe have the enemies have innate escapist or innate Walk It Off, even stacks of Walk It Off, so that you can, like, bosses can have stacks, so you have to knock it off like multiple times. Maybe that would work. Because that was the one thing in Divine War, but because they had no armor, the very first hit you did, and that was it. Like, you could knock him down like the next time. So anyway, on that, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will consider Unleashed and Epic Encounters in about a month, because I know a lot of people say, oh, come on, play it. I just have a hard time when there's no hard CC. They've just gutted the hard CC system that I find that I enjoy in Divinity Original Sin. Like, I like stunning, I like petrify, I like doing all these things that prevent the enemy from hitting me. So it forces you to play a tank role, it forces you to play like certain roles and certain skills, but I have to sit down and really learn their system. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Do support Zorn. Check out his mod, it's really good. So far, it's my favorite, and I'll report back once I've finished Epic Encounters and Unleashed. Cheers, have a good one, and catch you in the next one. Peace.